I've been looking forward to meeting in person for some time now. I admire his work. I admire the trajectory of his career. And it's just time to have a really nice chat with another talented Utahn by the name of Sohrab Mirmont. Welcome,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you very much,
How
sir.
are you?
I'm
It's
doing
great
very
to
well.
see you.
Great to see you. Thanks
You
for
look
having
well.
me on. You look amazing. Yeah, I had to just catch up to you.
I was not. It's not true at all. You're vetting yourself nicely, as they say.
Thank you.
So let's kind of start from the beginning, because you gave me a little tidbit just before we came on camera that I was not aware of, that really, I think, contextualizes your life in film as far as family and all of that. So I'm just going to stop talking and let you give folks that scoop. It's very cool.
So what I was telling you was about my uncle, who's a very acclaimed international filmmaker. He's an Iranian director. His name is Abbas Kiarostami. When I was a young child, like 4 years old, I remember stumbling up to his editing room, which is off limits to little kids. And it was the middle of the night, so all the lights are off. And
oh, no way. Nice.
Yeah, it was quite the cinematic scene. But I walk by this doorway and I see my uncle sitting at his computer with this very beautiful woman. I think she was very beautiful. And I just saw the glare of the computer screen and what they were editing. And I was just standing there in awe, looking at him and her. And then he turned around and looked at me, and then the girl turned around and looked at me, and then seconds later my mom came by and grabbed my arm and like took me away. And that moment made me realize, like, whatever that person was doing, it just was so exciting.
I need to get in on that.
I need to get in on that.
Isn't that true? Those formative experiences like
Absolutely.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that totally shaped me. So when I was 5.5 or so, we moved to America, and I actually haven't seen my uncle, or I hadn't seen my uncle for about 25 years until about 2 weeks ago. But we stayed in touch on the phone. Yeah, stayed in touch on the phone quite a bit. He always inspired me to go out there and.
That's all right. Keep talking.
He always inspired me to go out there and keep making movies and do what I got to do. So when I was 17, I made my first little short film, and then I kept making short films, and I went to film school in Florida, and I made a short film there called The Beautiful Wind. And that short film did pretty well. It traveled the world. It won the Audience Choice Award at the New York International Film Festival.
Cool.
It became like a university study piece for other students making student films, which was very interesting.
Was that based on narrative, technique?
That was based on, I think, the umph to go out there and just do it, make a movie. Because that film,
for you.
Yeah, because I mean, the story was good. The film, all the like things about it was good, but the one thing that stood out to everybody was that in my second month in film school, I went outside of film school and I made a short film, a 13-minute short film. And I came back and I showed it to everybody, and everyone was like, wow, we don't even know why everybody else isn't doing this. So can you like tell us like what it took for you to jump out of the seat and like make a movie?
Initiative. Just got to do it.
Pretty much.
That's cool. Well, yeah. And I have to say that in my fortunate role sitting in this chair and talking to folks who may not be any more talented than you, but may just be a little further down the road, that's the characteristic more than anything else, because throughout style and genre and all of those details, it's just that look in the eye that people have who must make a film.
Absolutely.
And it's great to feel that energy, to have you here. So bring us a little further into the present. I think we've got a clip of an older film that we're going to look at before we talk about Freemason, but talk about the last 4 or 5 years or so here.
Excellent. Yeah, last 4 or 5 years has been a whole bunch of short films, followed by 2 feature films that I've made in the last. Actually, in the last 5 years. So I made my first feature film in 2009, and I made my second feature film earlier this year called The Freemason, and it stars Sean Astin. And it had a limited theatrical release earlier this year, and it comes out on DVD and VOD in a few months. I don't know the exact date yet.
Right.
But so I've been spending a lot of time experimenting with films. Like I still make short films just to learn and do things that you can't do in feature films.
Right.
And so that's really kind of helped me and guided me. And my last short film that was an experimental short film is going to be my next feature film. So
again, a time-tested way of bringing great ideas through the development process of the short, get it all figured out, and then just make A fantastic feature.
Fantastic, yes, with no money.
With no money, with no money down.
at all.
So I think first we're going to look at Blue Door, which is, tell me what year this was completed.
So Blue Door, interesting story. We filmed this in 2009. It was my first feature film. We had like a very small theatrical release here in Utah. And then once I made the Freemason, we got some more interest for
people come back
Blue
around,
Door, right?
Cool.
And so we actually got a new distribution deal for Blue Door. So you're going to see the older trailer, but we're cutting together a new trailer, and there's a new version of the film coming out.
Very
as well.
cool. Sohrab Mirmont, Blue Door.
What would you do if I did something really bad? Like, kill somebody.
Did you ever think your life would be like this?
What do you mean?
I was just asking if this is how you thought your life would be.
I'm sorry about what happened.
What was he doing?
Why'd you let Dad drive home that night?
We hit a deer and Rose is shaking up and I was just dragging the thing out of the road.
We're not going to take it easy. We're going to find out exactly which one of you knows where your mother is.
Maybe you do like it. Maybe you're one of those that likes to be punished. She's been acting kind of funny lately. Where are you going?
I'm going for a run.
I think that's a good idea.
I'm going.
No, you're not. Things haven't changed that much yet.
If you ever need anything, I live at the house with the blue door.
It's cool.
Very cool. I love the look, the feel. You obviously know something about making a trailer that makes people want to stop what they're doing. Not that we're going to stop this television program, but stop what they're doing and go watch that film right away. Let's take a quick break. We got to take a quick break. You guys will be right back. More with Sohrab Mirmont right here on Park City Television Mountain Views. Welcome back. We're talking film, as we so love to do on this program. And one of the beautiful things about being here in Utah is that there are 11 and a half months in the calendar where there are still some really good filmmakers around in Utah, not just from New York and LA. Love you, New York and LA. Talking with director, filmmaker Sohrab Mirmont. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So you were saying that Blue Door had a release, kind of was coming back around. I like that trailer. I'm excited at the thought of you're going to recut the trailer. Are you remaking the film at all? Are you going to re-edit it?
Absolutely. The original release of the film was only 65 minutes, which is not enough time for a feature film.
Yeah,
which
kind
is
of 75 is sort of your
75 or 83. 75 is more European, I think. But now we have an hour and 40-minute cut.
Wow.
Of stuff that nobody has seen. Not even one of the producers who produced the film, because I shot some stuff outside of anybody's knowledge.
That sounds like there's sort of a theme emerging from whatever people think Sohrab is doing. He's doing more, just after hours, and maybe on your home computer. There'd be some.
You never know.
Some editing going on, maybe mining some bitcoins.
Mining Bitcoin all the time. Is that still around, Bitcoin?
I think for the next 5 minutes or so.
It will be, yeah, because we're talking about it.
That's right.
Yes.
It's trending because of Mountain View.
Yes.
So let's talk about Freemason.
Okay.
It's easy to focus first on and be excited about the fact that you had Sean Astin, amazingly accomplished guy. I will confess, did you have any, and maybe you knew him beforehand, but I have this thing that I imagine that, like, like the mole scene in Austin Powers, where Fred Savage always wants to, or Austin Powers wants to talk about the mole. I would always want to say, Mr. Frodo, Mr. Frodo, to Sean Astin all the time.
There was many times when I wanted to make Samwise jokes, but I refrained because other people on the crew were doing it for me. So I held the stature of the director. I was just observing.
Yeah, of course.
But it was really interesting to hear him talk about stories with Peter Jackson and just shooting the film, like 3 years of his life. These things were, because I saw Rudy when I was a child.
Right.
And Rudy was an inspiration for me to go after my dream. And then, 20 years later, I'm working with the guy who played Rudy. And so that was, I think, the most surreal part of it, is that, like, I'm looking through the camera, seeing this human being that I've known for like 20-something years.
Right. And
I'm finally working with him, and my dreams are kind of coming true. That was amazing to work with him. And then to hear his stories were incredible.
Oh, I bet. I mean, talk about classic film set of all times.
Yeah, and he comes from royalty. I mean, Patty Duke.
Right.
Yeah, this is his mother.
Right.
He's got a few different people he calls dad, but they're all very well known.
Right.
But yeah, he's just got some good stories, and I still talk with him. I didn't know him before the film, but I know him now. After.
Right. Well, I would imagine that as we were talking about the kind of the crucible of a film set and being in those two pivotal positions within the film, you guys would forge a bond for sure.
Absolutely.
So we have a little video of you in action here.
Okay. Yes, you do.
I watched this. This is pretty cool. This is behind the scenes. Freemason, Sohrab, doing it. This looks so much fun.
That was the time of my life. Actually, like watching that and reliving that moment, I was like, man, I can't wait.
Feeling all those sense memories.
Yeah, it was
cool.
It was awesome holding that camera up on the on those two bins, huge bins. Because at first I didn't want to do it. Somebody else was camera opping the film, but that person had to.
I was going to ask if, because it looks like you're jumping in,
yeah,
as it were.
Yeah, I jumped in on that day, so I shot a series of the action sequences, and then some other stuff because we lost the camera guy to a shoot in LA or something like that. But it was just so exciting to take on that role and to be in that atmosphere and to just make movies. It's fun.
It's great, man. Well, it's really cool to have you here. I'm glad we finally got to meet in person. I know you're spending a lot of time in LA, and that's good news, but it's nice that we can claim you as one of our own here in Utah, and just absolute best wishes for continued massive success. As I said before, I can see us sitting here during the Sundance Film Festival talking about whatever film that is entered in dramatic competition with buzz going around town. So let's look forward to that together, eh?
Excellent.
Is there any place that folks should go online for information on these films, about you as a director?
Sure. You can go to my production company website, which is www.mirmont.net, M-I-R-M-O-N-T.net. And I'm also doing, I'm hosting a workshop series here in Utah. It's a workshop that travels around the world, and I'm doing a 10-day one here in Salt Lake City. And that starts in June, and if people want information on that, they can go to filmmakerworkshop.org. filmmakerworkshop.org. Get with that, people. That sounds fun. That sounds cool. Thank you so much for being here. Great to meet you. My pleasure.
Next time.
Thanks.